Here we are, one of my favorite fish factories, giant smallmouth fish factory, Lake Mille Lacs, full of big smallies, easily one of my favorite lakes in the entire country. I mean, it's loaded full of the fish that I like to catch the most, and I live just about 2 minutes that way. So I'm taking today and I'm gonna fish a lot of flats. You know, I'm gonna use my Lowrance electronics and my Navionics mapping. Easily my most important. From there, I'm gonna utilize my Minn Kota Ultrex and my Phoenix boat. I'm gonna get up my power poles. I'm gonna get up on these flats. These fish, these big females are moving up to the shallows. There's plenty of fish up in a 1 to 2 foot, but I wanna find them big females that are pulling up right now. And they're in that 6 to 12 foot range. You move around these flats because how the glaciers work, they just left piles of rocks everywhere. And I wanna move water fast. I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. I have 4 Lowrance carbons at my face, 2 here at the controls, and 2 up on the deck. And I'm gonna show you guys today how to utilize that, utilize your electronics, utilize your boat to be more successful fishing for these fish out on these big flats. The first thing I'm gonna do is follow contour. Contour means there's rocks, there's something hard there. I'm going to stay very close to these big flats. You can see I'm not far off the bank here. Basically just idling around using my electronics and looking for these strips of rock. My map shows me where to begin, but they're big areas. We're talking about a couple football fields full of flat with good rock. Well, what separates the rock? I got to find certain areas. This is a key example here. When you hit these flats, you come across these flats, and you can see where it gets up and down, and there's just some change. So what I like to do in that situation is just go back, drop myself a little stop sign right there. Now when I come back through here, I'm going to pay extra special attention to those areas. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to use my spot lock. I'm going to drop my power poles, do different things in that area and really slow down, try to get a bite. The rest of it though, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not there. Those are just sweet spots. The rocks are loaded full of them and they're moving around on them all the time. So that's when I just got to be efficient. Kind of roll through here doing a big S pattern, casting a fly or a jerk bait, maybe my swim bait head, a little swimmer, and just kind of going around and trying to pick off those fish, locating the school, drop a dot on them, come back and get them when the money's on the line. Just these big pre-spawners. Make sure to always spot lock. You know, now I know where that school's at. Fat pre-spawner. They definitely get bigger, but that's a heck of a fish. Fun to catch on the NRX like that. A lot of times I like to throw the swimmer on a bait casting rod, no doubt about it, but I'm only throwing an 1/8 ounce. This time of year, that 1/8 ounce. I'm throwing the Biospawns, their Exo Swim, pretty new bait. You know, and I'm throwing the 4-inch. Sometimes with smallmouth, you gotta size down just a little bit, but not here. This is Mille Lacs. We got big ones. They have no problem taking down a 4-inch bait. Matter of fact, they like it. I get a better tail kick out of it, and I can just work it down there in them rocks. And the spinning rod, but one deal I'll do here is I'm using the 4000 Shimano Accents. Easily, hands down, my favorite spinning reel that I've ever used in my life. But I'm leaving my drag just a little bit on the light side. A lot of times those fish pick it up and they just hook themselves, and the drag starts clicking. I got me a bass. The exact same setup I have at my face at the steering wheel, I have up on the deck of my boat. Same deal, you know, I'm using my main screen. My front one's got my Navionics map here, and my traditional sonar dropping off the bottom of the Minn Kota. Over here on the right side, I have side imaging, and all I'm doing is I just don't want to split the screens, you know? All I'm doing is basically jacking it from the back of it. You know, for me, this kind of fishing, I think that's by far the best way to do it. Is I'm just moving along this flat, and I'm using the back of my boat to scan for me where I'm going. I can find things, I can find nice rocks, certain boulders, drop-offs.
something like that as I'm actually fishing and moving around and looking for these schools. When you have it on the front, when you have your structure scan or any kind of side imaging on the front, you're just moving too much. You miss so many of the little subtle details, stuff like that, and I can see those little strips of rock all the time. Walleye.